Hey everybody, welcome back to Aramore. So this is episode 4. How are y'all doing? I'm doing pretty well today. Today we're going to be beginning downtown, so this is going to be a lot of fun. So this is going to be a shorter episode, and there are a couple of changes to the format and stuff. Very slight changes, I guess. So first of all, the time-lapse speed is a bunch less. I'm using 600% speed rather than like 800 to 1200. Like, I sometimes went up to 1200 before in certain areas, but I realized it's sort of ridiculous. Like, 600 here is fast enough, and it's just a lot easier on the eyes. So tell me in the comments what you think about that. But yeah, I'm ready to get started here. So downtown is going to be pretty cool. It's not going to be too tall in terms of the skyscrapers. It's going to be a shorter skyline, but it's nonetheless going to be really awesome. You'll see. I mean, so in terms of the transitions from downtown to the suburbs, I've got a pretty good idea of what I want. So first, a little background. So if there are any new viewers here, I'm building a Pacific Northwest inspired city here, and yeah, I mean, it's not exactly based specifically on any particular city. It's taking a lot of stuff from different places. I'm going for something like Astoria, Oregon for, the geography, something near the open ocean. And Astoria, Oregon, as you can see right here, is at the mouth of the Columbia River, which obviously flows into Portland, Oregon, and that's, where the river port for, Portland, Oregon, is on the Columbia River. And, yeah, I'm just going for something that's sort of at the mouth of a river by the open ocean, and this is the perfect example of what I'm sort of going for. But in terms of the building style I'm going to be going for something more like Seattle, but it's going to be a much smaller scale version of that. So what I mean by that is I want to transition the downtown into suburbs very, very quickly, as in like lower density suburbs. So I'm going to put an image on the screen right now of that. By the way, all of these images are from Google Earth. The brand new Google Earth, by the way, is incredible, so definitely check that out. But this is what the Seattle suburbs are like immediately right outside downtown, and I'm wanting to go for something like that, but it's going to be even closer to downtown, and it's going to be on a much smaller scale. I'll explain more about everything as we go with the series, but for now I guess I'll commentate about what I'm doing here. So pretty much I'm just placing some random buildings throughout. So this whole series, every building I place is going to be Rico. Every single building, or at least that's the plan. So, by the way, a side note related to that, this week I had a issue with a mod, and it was not Rico. I thought it was Rico, but I was getting these array out of index errors that had literally no details associated with them, which is always the worst because you have no idea when you're going in troubleshooting blind. But yeah, 1 second here. So like there was somebody who actually messaged me on Steam who creates assets named, I believe, yes, Sparks. So Sparks told me it might be related to Prop It Up, the mod Prop It Up, which is, obviously what you can, replace vanilla trees and props and stuff. You can replace those with custom props and trees and etc. But that mod apparently was causing that error. So I got rid of it, and it's all working okay, at least for now. I mean, yeah, so if you're getting that array out of index error for no particular reason, it's probably because I prop it up. And there may be, like, I might be able to fix it, but I don't really know if I even want to. I might just use the vanilla trees remover by TPB. So I guess I'm going to talk more about what's going on in game, because I haven't been doing all that much of that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm using some of these realistic highway merge lanes and upgrading them to elevated roads, which apparently they still work with. So definitely try that out for elevated intersections as well, because that still does work. I did not realize it. I thought the behavior might work a little bit differently, but it's all fine. So I'm trying to do that for one of these exits over here. This is just one of a couple that I want to add near downtown, and I don't know. I'll probably show you some stuff in game next episode, For now, this episode I want to keep, actually, this is going to be a really short episode, to be honest, like a really short episode. Hopefully that doesn't bother any of you, but yeah, next episode we should have some live gameplay looking around and stuff, but yeah. So anyway, talking about what's going on in game, once again, I keep getting carried away here. So yeah, I'm beginning the docks over here. So near downtown here, I want to have some piers and a boardwalk next to the bay. And yeah, what I want to do here is, like, I mean, you see this pier. I just want to add a bunch of piers, sort of like this. There sadly aren't many assets like this. I don't know, direct me to some if you know of any, but yeah, this is I believe the Pier 15 flea market or something. Something like that. But yeah, it's by Chrysler, I believe, on the workshop. So yeah, definitely check that out. But yeah, so I want to add, just near downtown here, I want to add a bunch of these walls and a boardwalk and some marinas and piers and stuff. It's just really hard because of the assets, but I'll manage here. So yeah, right here you see I'm making a sort of a marina just near downtown for the richer of the folks living here, and there will be a lot more of these moving forward. And also what I'm planning is for all the houses that are like on the water, I want to have each of them have like their own boat docks and boats and stuff. I think that'd be really cool. Just as little aspects, but yeah, that's definitely way in the future. For now, just making this marina. I'm using a bunch of the Bloody Penguin floating boats here, and I think in a moment I'm gonna grab the sailboats and put them like out, anchored out there. And I'll do that elsewhere later on in the series as well. But yeah, I think we're done with that for now, and we're moving on to some detailing. So in this area, I'm not going to be going for something all that nice. This is going to be a really grungy area, not a very nice place to live. It's going to be right near downtown, though, and yeah, you'll see where it is, in the cinematics and stuff, but what I'm doing here is I'm using a bunch of decals, and I'm using these realistic rural parking lots which have the parking bumpers and cracks included in them, which is really convenient. Helps by prop limit. Keep shouting those out like episode after episode. They're so nice. But yeah, so I used some of those mud decals, like the rough ones, right on the edge, like right below the fence, or right in the edge of the parking lot, and I added some foliage in there, just some overgrowth, and yeah, just placing some pipes and boards and trash and stuff around here, which I think really does add a lot here. I'm placing a truck that's got like a generator behind it on a trailer, which I think is so cool. But yeah, anyway, bunch of cracks, some drains, lots of different decals, and yeah, I did a lot of these curb props, these Ronix curb props, because they had a lot of depth to little areas. Also, one thing that really bothers me is, like, I love using these network extensions roads to create, like, little, I mean, they create intersections, which is really annoying, but these concrete roads create some depth, like an entrance to a parking lot, not like somebody just drives onto the sidewalk without there being some sort of slope. They create intersections, which is really annoying for like larger roads, like the avenues. And so like they create traffic lights and stuff. I mean, you can make them so short that they don't actually create the traffic lights, but they do remove like the median and stuff, which is really annoying. So if anybody knows like a way to not have that happen, that'd be cool. But whatever. Anyway, so I had a lot of these basketball courts here, just the decals from the vanilla game, to areas around here because they filled space pretty well. I didn't really know what else to do like behind these buildings, and so these Brooklyn style buildings are going to be a lot different than the buildings around Falcon Falls. So like in Falcon Falls, I went for something that was a little bit more homogeneous, as in all the buildings were like more like the same height and they were all planned like that. And here I'm going to be doing a lot more variety and stuff like that. So you can expect some really cool stuff coming with that. And Over here, I'm detailing this little shop area. I used a lot of cobblestone in this episode because I really think in downtown areas it's like really the way to go with detailing. See, I'm placing a little Starbucks here on the corner. I placed the same asset like a couple blocks down, but I'm sort of fine with it. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, once again, I'm using some of this cobble. I think the cobblestone adds so much, though. Like, honestly, really does add a lot to little areas, I guess, in between buildings and downtown. It's always so hard to detail between skyscrapers. It's just one of the most annoying things, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, so using a lot of these leafy potted plants by Padelmo. Really cool. Some benches. Trying to keep it all really orderly. As I say that, I added some cracks to the sidewalk. Yeah. Yeah, I'm using just a lot of different cobblestone textures. Nothing really in particular. I'm using, I forget, I think it's Bowformer who made most of them. And then Ronix who made some. Anyway, adding some foliage and stuff around some of the skyscrapers, etc. Some of these garden bushes and Mr. Mason's new weeping... no, it's the white willow, not the weeping willow. Sorry, but yeah, see, I'm placing the Starbucks asset again. I don't know, this really fits well in between buildings and stuff, so I really couldn't resist using it again. I didn't really know what else to use here, so I decided to do that. I ended up using a bunch of bollards with chains and stuff to separate the cobblestone from the concrete texture, as you can see, because I think I don't know, I think it fits pretty well. And you really do have to mess with the day-night cycle and the sun height and stuff when you're detailing downtown areas, just so you can actually see, because otherwise the shadows are crazy, especially when you have shadow strength adjuster on almost max. By the way, I lowered it thanks to a suggestion in the comments, and it looks better now, because it was really high before. Actually, before it was about the same, except now my LUT is a little bit more contrasty, if that's a thing, and I guess looks, I don't know, it looks pretty much like it used to, is the point. Now I'm just going to place some decals, some road damage decals around, and now we're moving into the final portion, really, of the episode. So I'm going to be placing some parking lots and details around this skyscraper here. This is the tallest skyscraper in downtown. And yeah, I mean, once again, the skyscrapers aren't all that tall, really. You'll see in the cinematics. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like. It really is appreciated. And subscribe if you're new around here. Hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button to get notified whenever I upload, so you never miss an upload. And follow me on Twitter. You know the drill. I post tons of teasers and stuff like that on my Twitter, and it's definitely the place to be. So yeah, follow me there. Anyway, that's pretty much it for me. Hopefully you enjoy this final minute or so of time-lapse footage and the cinematics. So yeah, I'll see you next time.